Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're now live streaming onto Facebook. Good morning. So it's Thursday, the 17th of December, 2020. What? So like the countdown to Santa is very, very low now. It's coming soon. I can hear him. So I wanted to introduce you to one of my most favorite people on the planet. And I have lots of favorites, but she's one of my most favorites. And this lady's story is deep. It is very deep. And she is one of the most incredible women I know with so much resilience. I'd like to introduce you to the goddess that is Karalyne.
Hello, hello.
Karalyne is in When the Goddess Calls Volume 2. So I know we've done an interview before, but we've asked you to come back on and redo it. My coffee's starting to kick in. And basically we wanted you to come back on because all these interviews are being uploaded to our Facebook page, uploaded to all the Facebook pages, so that's like a total of 45,000 people, and it's also uploaded to our YouTube channel so that people can go in and watch your interview all the time. Karalyne, it's just an absolute pleasure to have you on here. As I say, you are one of my most favorite people. You're one of our goddesses from the Goddess Rooms. You're absolutely adored. Everyone loves our Karalyne. So welcome.
Hello, hello. I keep looking at Tina Pavlou. You look so beautiful. I feel a bit mesmerised. I really do. I'm just looking at you. This glory. What a glory to look at first thing in the morning.
Thank you very much. I do feel really, really good. I've been drinking lots of water. I bought a water machine, so everything's distilled. So lovely. I've been drinking lots of water. I've been doing my juices. Tony's been bringing me my juices, and I've been having beautiful vegetable soups. So I've been really taking care of myself, doing theta sessions.
Wonderful.
So thank you so much. I feel good. And I also thought I'd put some makeup on this morning.
Well, it suits you well, my darling.
Thank you, Karalyne. May I just start with your bio? Because I'm going to read something else that you've written. Now, I'm going to read this first because it's really hard for me to speak about. And of course, it's hard because there's so many memories. So, Karalyne, how do we pronounce your surname? Kalachman?
It's Kalachman.
Kalachman. Okay.
Yeah.
So Karalyne Kalachman is an inspirational teacher in personal and relationship empowerment. And she is a behavior change expert specializing in anxiety, addictions, and emotional difficulties. Her background is in social care work, teaching mental health and art therapies. Since 2009, she has worked as a behaviour change practitioner for the NHS and the community mental health teams, as well as teaching personal development courses. She has 30 years of experience working with vulnerable adults and people with a diverse range of backgrounds. She is highly empathic and has been on an incredible journey through her life herself. With an acute understanding of adversity, Karalyne has worked with people from all around the world to help them rebalance their lives, clearing patterns and behaviours that no longer serve them. This enabling them to become everything that they were capable of becoming and reach their full potential as human beings. Her focus is on self-empowerment, teaching you how to balance and realign your full potential, and on relational empowerment, discovering new ways to get the best out of your relationships. She shares her expertise in relationship skills with safety and respect. Mind Management delivers training programs for individual groups and couples. Karalyne is trained with shamanic, tantric and angelic healers in the UK, Americas, Asia, North America and Europe, including Tina Pavlou. Thank you. And you also trained in theta healing too.
Mm-hmm.
She is a warm and friendly healer of animals, indeed you are, and people with a simple and grounded approach. I love you.
I love you.
Her vision is to build a few loving homes for a loving family with 2- and 4-legged wonders, including healing retreats and educational centres for all to recover, restore and rebalance, with bountiful playing and creative learning. Her code word is humility. Karalyne, you rock. Now, you are incredible because the experiences that you have experienced and challenges that you've experienced in this lifetime, I believe are very deep, more than some people could even imagine. And where you've come from to where you are now. So when you work with people, you have so much compassion. I'm like, wow. Like you have so much tolerance and resilience, and you're able to, you know, even the most difficult people, you're able to just be. And that is just, that's an incredible gift, all right? Because it is an amazing virtue to have, because it's like you've always had this virtue. Now, I'm going to just read the first page and a half so that we can then ask you in questions. I'm not just going to bombard you with questions, because these are very, we have to be very gentle how we speak, because people that are watching this may and will connect with you. So, Karalyne, I was born out of love and I believe wholeness. From the tender age of 3, I took it upon myself to look after and parent my mother and my brother. It is a memory that has no words and is difficult to describe. I became a young carer with no support. Living in a war zone, chaotic, dangerous, frightening, uncertain, having to hide. As being violently exposed, I was working hard daily, no time for play, picking up the pieces, dealing with the fits and vomit, and cleaning up the mess. I was the vaulted that stored all the denied thought. I was the vault that stored all the denied thoughts and feelings that no one could express. My mother's pain had turned to violence, and I was the target. I always knew when a schizophrenic rage was brewing, because her eyes would turn black. Most of my childhood was spent enduring emotional, mental, and sexual abuse. The worst was the neglect, being starved of love and affection, not being noticed or attended for basic needs. No caregivers or guardians, only a few distant relatives. It left me with such low self-worth, I was mostly silent. I was taken to a psychiatrist when I was 4 because I stopped talking. And I remember them giving me some games to play. They said I had a very high IQ, and all they told me was that I took on my mum's pain. I now realise I took on all of her rage and internalized all of the violence, including my father and my brothers. It explains some of it. I had no father and an absent mother, and it made me a bit different. Orphan children often are. I was exposed to a lot of strangers because my mum was not fit to parent. She was drug dependent and mentally unstable. And what happened behind closed doors was never spoken about. Social service were involved, but kept at a distance. I had no bruises on the outside no one saw or choose to see what I was going through. At home, I was caught in a domestic violence relationship with an adult who took pleasure in gaining power by being cruel, malicious, and hostile. Not many people talk about the monster mothers. It is crippling. Her constant humiliation and punishment chiseled away at me over the years and stripped me of my sense of self. She told me I was ugly and I felt it for a long time. My first memory of sexual abuse started at 4, and then again at 7 with another person. And then my brother took an interest when I was around 11, maybe before that. Now, this is the bit that you wrote. I lie there in the dark, waiting. I am so afraid. The handles turn and I tighten the covers. I know they won't protect me. Still, I close my eyes and I pray to something I'm not sure exists. I hear the swishing sounds of his legs. He sits down softly as if he cares. He does handle me gently, but I know this is not love. I feel so alone. I swallow the tears and I keep still. The gentle handling becomes more forceful and urgent. I'm so numb. I'm already above my body, gone. And yet in moments of stillness, I hear my heart thud against my chest, draining the blood from my veins. Maybe that's why I leave. When he is done, he quietly moves his body away. Still no sound, only the smell of flesh and breath. He strokes my breasts and leaves his hands on my heart for a moment, locking the secret in and keeping it safe. I had loved him before this with all my heart. He was the only man in my life. This wasn't another blood relation close. There wasn't one in his life either. Maybe that's why. He must have been hurt. He fed me with pills and even bleach when I was 3 and 4. I was hospitalized 3 times. They all treated it like it was a joke and laughed about it. But me, when he came into my room, I actually thought he was going to kill me. Like he tried to then. It may have been innocent. He may have only wished to annihilate or wipe me out, even just for a day. It was confusing and terrifying, and I can still feel it now. I was too frightened to tell about my brother. The threat of death was enough to keep my mouth shut. And one day the rage came. It was so strong it made him stop. Nothing was said. We split that moment and went our separate ways. It was a huge loss. He had been the only person in my life I trusted. A few months later, when I was 14, I was raped violently by a man down the road. It went on like that for a few hours. I managed to say no in the beginning, but he was forceful and no wasn't enough. I remember the look at his eyes and nothing was going to stop him from getting what he wanted. I never spoke a word about it until I was 40. I remember saying no and then shutting down. I couldn't keep him off me. I didn't struggle. I kept quiet like I knew. I ran away from home and I couldn't stand to be there anymore. I had to fight and went off to live with my alcoholic friend. A pattern of promiscuous behaviour followed. Sadly, it wasn't the empowered kind. I found myself frozen again. It was so cold. So I feel that we should allow other people to read that chapter, to buy the book and to read the chapter, because you went into psychosis and you went into, you were broken. You were absolutely broken.
Yeah, I really was. And I probably spent most of my life up until my 40s not being in my body at all. I was in and out of my body, like, I wasn't really here. And in between that, I just numbed a lot with the usual drugs and alcohol. That was my sort of coping mechanism. Yeah, it took me a long time to get into recovery, really, and in between that, I can say I did have a good time as well, you know, because drugs and alcohol can make you feel good.
Of course.
So, you know, but I went and off and did some quite extreme things really in my life. Yeah, it took, when I sobered up, it was tough to get through that and realise, you know, what I'd done, what had happened, and why. You know, why did I do that? Yes, it's tough to listen to that actually.
Yeah,
That you just read.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you went on to help other people through this. So
I did, yeah.
I mean, you are now married. You have a beautiful wife, Haya,
Yeah,
who's
it's
just
got a
like,
positive ending. It's
yeah,
good
she's
now.
a
Things are good
absolute
now.
goddess. We love
Yeah.
her too. You both of you are our darling sisters from the Goddess Rooms. Now,
Thank you.
so tell us how did you wake up? How did you just go like, fuck it, I'm done with this. I need to heal.
Well, actually, I had just before that really happened, after I'd had the psychosis, I was in and out of that for years, really. And then before I really stopped, I had a big drug binge, and I went on this trip, and it was real, and I know it's real now from the healing that I do. And I was told, this is it for you. This is it. You know, this is either the end of the line for you, but actually we've got a purpose for you, so you need to get your act together. And it was so powerful.
Wow.
You know, I felt like I was talking to God or an ascended master or something, you
Yeah.
know. And it was so clear and it was so real that when I came back, I was like, right, that's it. But of course, I kept on for a little while. I kept trying to stop, you know, like addicts take years, and they're like the best, you know, God loves a trier. Addicts are the best triers in the world of like stopping, yeah, I'm stopping for a few days, you know, all of that, going on and on and on. And then I lost the use of my right side, and they took me into hospital, and they said I'd had a stroke. And that sort of woke me up a little bit. And I remember going outside, asking somebody to bring me some Valium in to stay in the hospital. But I was lying on the grass and I heard that voice again, like, this is the time now. This really is the end of it. So it was really, and it was like that quiet little voice, but you know, I recognised it, you know. And that was the time. And that was the time to begin. That was the beginning. I was nearly 40 when that started, and it took me a few years again. I was clean for a few months, and then I'd have a relapse, and then it was going on like that for quite a long time. And then nearly 10 years ago, next year, I went into recovery, 12-step. And I did it that way. I wish I'd have had theta. Wish I'd have done it that way. It would have been a lot quicker, but it took me 10 years really to really sort myself out. And in between all of that, I was still working. I was working all the time and pretending I was okay. You know, I put this face on, and I'm sure they knew there was something not right. And I had lovely, lovely people to work with.
Yeah.
But I was just pretending, and I'd be crying in the toilets all the time, and then just putting a face on and looking after somebody else. And, you know, I was a complete workaholic to try and keep myself up. And of course, I became a wounded healer, which I wouldn't recommend to anybody. But in a way, it did help to heal me. You know, I wouldn't, you know, thank God that's over. That period of my life is over. I help people to help themselves now.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I could feel my wounds were all over and bleeding everywhere, you know, and I would just want to help everybody, you know, like we do. You know, we're carers. So it took me a little while to learn to look after myself first, you know, really protect myself and do all of that work, you know. So yeah, so that that's how that kind of happened. But I thought about this as well, and I wasn't religious or anything like that. I didn't come from a religious background, but I always sensed this thing with me ever since I was little. You know, I always knew, I didn't see anything, I didn't see angels or anything like that, but I felt this thing around me all the time, and I knew it was there, and I knew it was like something looking after me. You know, and even though I was, you know, I was angry and rageful and I was doing all sorts of silly things, there was this thing always with me, and it's with me now, you know, but now I recognize it and I know what it is, you know.
So you you've healed, and you're, you know, I love the way you say it, the wounded healer. You know, I was a wounded healer for a long time, and it's, you know, it's a survival mechanism to help other people. It's also a quick fix that you feel good about yourself because you've helped someone. That's also part of the addiction. I know the addiction very well. So you've taken all your challenges, and you and Hay have got an incredible business, although you do separate work as well. But you also teach at the Goddess Room. What is it that how do you help people now? Because you've turned all your how do you do it?
How do we do it? So I spent a long time working in mental health and working with people, and what would come out of that was always about relationships. You know, people's psychosis, you know, what's named, all these labels that people get, you know, it's all to do with family, with theta, belief work, all of that stuff, doing all of that. So I worked as a hypnotherapist for quite a long time, changing beliefs, working with beliefs, but it all boiled down to people's relationships and the relationships they were having now, and, you know, why was it affecting their lives now, and la la la. And of course, I had a big interest in that because I was rubbish at relationships. My relationships were horrendous, you know, and I just did not know how to relate to people. I just couldn't do it. I didn't know how to bring joy into my life, how to bring that, you know. I'd read about it. I'd met a few people in these great relationships, not very many, most of my friends were quite toxic, as I was. But I met a few and I thought, well, it is possible. And of course, I had that desire in me I wanted to be loved. I wanted to find something that was empowering for me and for my partner, and be able to communicate in a way that brought love and joy and generosity and all the things that we want in relationships, you know. And I spent years trying to manifest my soulmate, you know, and I was just going about it in the wrong way because I hadn't really done that deep work on myself, you know, till I did that, till I done, you know, I am the queen of shadow work, you know, I've done so much shadow work, but that's what's needed to bring you to that place. And you know, with theta, you lifting your vibration up, get to that place where you do attract the right people into your life, and you know, you begin to change what you're attracting into your life, and your energy level is different. So that's a big part of it. But then when you get there and you find that right person, there's things that we do that we're just still playing those old tunes, you know. And what I realized over that, I've been doing this work for the last 7 years. I've specialized in it. And I've worked with my private clients doing the program that I'm now delivering as group work, because I wanted to get it out there to everybody, because therapy and hypnotherapy is quite expensive and it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to do therapy. It doesn't work with everybody. No. So I wanted to put it into a group, make it available for everybody. I'm working on doing it with children and families as well. For next year, the children's stuff is going to come out next year. So I'm still completing the next 2 levels of that, but it's all the stuff we should have learned at school.
Of course.
You know, you know, the stuff that we just didn't learn, and it's so important, just in practical, You know, we do all our spiritual work. It's amazing. For me, theta angelic, it's up there. That's the highest form of healing that you can do for yourself. And this is, and I know you do some relationship work too, don't you? You do soulmate and
soulmate, yeah.
Other you do.
Yeah, you and your significant
other.
It's a
big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, massive, yeah.
And then probably the work I do is a little bit more practical about the way we respond with our trigger. We can, when those things flare up, because they're always going to flare up.
Always.
You know,
until we release
bring
the
people
beliefs
into our lives.
Yeah,
exactly, until we release the beliefs. And also, a great relationship is where you are healing with that person. You're constantly healing. You know, we're constantly healing for the rest of our lives. So, it's using some of those things that I've learned, that I've worked with those clients, and it changes their lives. It's unbelievable. But I have the worst crisis in relationships come to me. People that feel like they can never have a relationship. You know, they feel, I never have good relationships. Sort of a complete turnaround.
wow.
And it's amazing. It's really amazing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well, I could sit and talk to you for bloody hours. I think you're amazing. I keep like this staring at you.
Bless your heart. You look so lovely as well.
So please, if you want to contact Karalyne, you can connect her through social media, read her chapter, and all her details are in there. I've just got, oh, here she is. So her email address is mindmanagementuk@gmail.com, www.mindmanagementexpert.com. Isn't she a goddess? So please connect with Karalyne. She's just well, when you meet her, you can feel her vibration now. I adore you. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing your interview. These are going to be uploaded now. Please connect with her. She is incredible. So I love you, Karalyne.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say as well that we piloted that course at the Goddess Room. So I just wanted to say that, and there's going to be some more.
I think you've got some more books in, haven't you, in February or March?
I'm sorting, I think it's going to be March. I'm sorting out with Claire anyway, so.
Yeah. I know that you're there, because we've spoken. I'd like you there a few times a year, actually.
Yeah.
Because you brighten the vibration up. We love you there.
Oh, bless your heart. It's such a high vibration to be in. I know we've got to go now, but I just wanted to say I was there delivering that course. I was so nervous because you know what it's like when you pilot your own stuff. But I had this moment. I was like, I wondered if you'd heard me. I was like, oh, thank you so much, Tina, for giving us this space to do it, because the vibration was so high in there, and people came away. They were just like blown away.
Wow.
It was really, really amazing. And I meant to message you, but I didn't. But I think she's heard me. She knows.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, you're a sister, so you're always welcome there. So we'll see you all. Jump on the live of the Red Tent that we're doing on the 21st, the evening of the 21st. It's going to be screened. We're going to put a Zoom call for everybody, but Karalyne, it's brilliant having you on here. I can't bloody wait to hug you. Big love to Haya for us, and we'll see you all soon. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.